What's up, Conroe? Welcome to a brand new edition of Nerd Thug Sports. Hanging out here on 104.5, 106.1, these sister stations, and we're streaming worldwide at irlonestar.com. We're just doing our little thing here on this coronavirus
quarantine.
I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a great time to be at home.
This is Corey DLG. With me, as usual, is little brother Nico.
Hello.
Yeah, it is just a unique.
Yeah, like this has just been weird on all fronts because it's been nice for me because like I go to school and they're like, "Man, we just don't have that anymore."
Right. So
that.
you're on like hard vacation.
Yeah, because none of my professors are even like, "Oh yeah, we got stuff to do." Like, I have teachers that literally just haven't done anything. Like, one of them's like, make sure to stay safe. I'll see you in April. And one of them just hasn't said anything.
I like that one. I like that approach the most, where it's just like, meh,
meh, meh. I'm done.
Hey, students, we pay you?
Meh. You probably made a teacher in the classroom. I'll see you when they're back.
Right.
Thanks.
Our
You've been a real asset. Thank you.
Real benefit to this team.
Oh man, so there's not a ton going on in the sports world at all. Except, thankfully, thank God, thankfully, NFL free agency.
Yeah, that's the only thing
That's
keeping
it.
us. This is the entire last episode too.
Right.
It's just, hey, Tom Brady left.
Yeah, last episode was the celebration of my prognostication abilities.
Right, and you said this months ago.
I did. My super prognostication abilities were on full effect last week as we celebrated the signing of Tom Brady to Tampa Bay,
Right.
shunning the New England Patriots. And actually, there wasn't a lot of mystery as to why he left. Robert Kraft issued a statement that really basically outlines it pretty hard. It's essentially, I'm going to paraphrase it. I don't have it in front of me, but essentially it was like, it's always a sad thing when a man and a woman love each other, but things keep them apart.
This is a marriage between Tom Brady and the Patriots.
You know, I genuinely think Robert Kraft felt that way. I think he thought that Tommy was his boy, and he actually said, Robert Kraft was very forthcoming here in this statement. I think he doesn't want to be the guy who's known for like,
right.
He's like, it's not me.
It's not me.
He
promise.
wants everyone to know it's not him. And listen, he's the owner. That's fine. Also, the guy whose fault it is Bill Belichick. That's also fine.
Right, because it's Bill Belichick.
Right. This is one of those rare instances where like there's not a quantifiable bad guy.
Yeah, this is definitely
Like Bill Belichick's a jerk, and people don't like to work for him, except people go to work for him because of the success he brings them.
right.
So it's like when you know that there's a bad boss, but the company is like the leader in the industry. Like
Well,
if you
hard-
go and
it's
put
hard to
time there, you could go anywhere else, and your career is better because you went.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say bad boss. I'm gonna go with like hard boss. Because it's
I mean bad boss in the sense that every other coach in the league goes out of their way to not be Bill Belichick, except for Bill O'Brien. Every other coach in the league is nicer to the media because they want the favorable coverage. Bill Belichick does not care. You're not going to badmouth me. I have 6 Super Bowl wins in 18 years. You know exactly where you can put your mouth. Like, Bill Belichick's not worried about the media.
right.
Bill Belichick's not worried about the players' opinions of him.
Nope.
Bill Belichick is not worried what the owner thinks.
Nope.
Bill Belichick comes to work every day and sits down and he draws his X's and his O's, and then on the sideline on game day he just tells them, do better, I'm Bill Belichick, you're going to win. And they do.
That works 90% of the time.
Listen, 60% of the time it works every time. There's the Patriots, the success rate of the Patriot way is so quantifiably obvious that you're not going to get mad when Tom Brady leaves. You're not going to get mad at Bill Belichick when Tom Brady leaves the Patriots.
No.
Like, Bill Belichick doesn't need to win 10 games this year or he's fired.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No. Like, Bill Belichick could lose every game this year, and Robert Kraft would be like, yeah, that's a weird. The players just kind of quit on him. I don't know what happened there, but we'll see next year.
Right. Well, what immediately goes to is they go and they look at their budget and they're like, oh, that makes sense.
That is so. In the article, we've kind of skipped around a little bits and pieces of it. But essentially what they talked about in that article is that, first of all, Robert Kraft goes out of his way to tell the public, like, hey, Tommy and I were great. He says at the top of the article, when Tom Brady called him and said he was on his way over to talk about everything, he thought Tom Brady was coming over to finish the deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much these two were going in one direction, Kraft thought. Tom Brady shows up and he goes, listen, I want to tell you face to face.
Not coming back.
Not coming back. I am going to be going to other places. I am going to be pursuing other options. I'm ready to move on. They hugged it out. They went their separate ways. But Robert Kraft, in all of his statements, leaves very little, without just outright going, yeah, Bill's a jerk and Tom's tired of it. He lays out like as many metaphors as possible where there's a third party. Like,
yeah, something else clearly happened.
Yeah. When a road and a car are merged so perfectly, but then a pothole appears. Like, he just wants everyone to know that, like, it's not him.
It's not him. It's not me. It's not me. I promise.
I'm either the road or the car, but I'm definitely not the pothole. I'm definitely not.
I've been here the whole time. It's not a surprise.
Yeah, I'm one of the good guys in this story. But it's personally, it's proof that it matters who you're going to work with every day.
Yeah.
It just is relevant. But for Tom Brady, for 18 years, he did it the Patriot way, but he started to feel like the Patriot way wasn't. He was always giving money back to the organization. And listen, Tom Brady's a wealthy man. Like, he's not hurting for anything, and he's got rings, and I'm sure there's all kinds of endorsements that have made up for it, and all the free trucks and all that you get when you're the Super Bowl MVP. He got so many free trucks, he gave one to somebody else and then paid the taxes on it so the guy could keep it. Malcolm Butler. Butler had the Super Bowl winning interception. They made him they had already decided Tom Brady was the Super Bowl MVP. He then, after the Super Bowl, was like, hey, Malcolm, you can have the truck, man. Like, it's cool.
I don't care.
And then, like, Malcolm Butler was going to have to pay taxes on the $80,000 truck, and then Malcolm Butler was like, I don't have that much money. And Tom Brady was like, gotcha.
Take the truck.
So, like, Tom Brady doesn't need anything. But he'd been giving money back to the organization with the hope that they were going to use that money on the offense. Offensive line help, receivers. This year, the offensive line was bad, and the receivers weren't good. Now, when they got Antonio Brown, he was excited because he was like, man, but like a real, like, scary threat for us on the outside. That's going to be good. And in that one game, they did throw 3 touchdowns. And then 2 days later, he gets fired because he wasn't a good person. But on the field, he was amazing. And Tom Brady went out of his way. This is the start of me noticing Tom Brady's doing something different. Tom Brady went out of his way to, like, put an arm around Antonio Brown, and I think it was because Tom Brady was trying to show the league, like, other players, like,
I like this guy.
Well, like, listen, I don't care what they say. I'm about performers and winners. If you want your second chance, you come to New England, and me, Tom Brady, the greatest NFL person, human being ever, is going to put my arm around you and bless you in anointed TB armor. And, like, Tom Brady was ready to take every shot for Antonio Brown publicly. Yeah, he's staying at my house. He's a good guy. We're working together. And then all of a sudden it was, like, sexual assault allegations, and then it was threatening witnesses, and then it was all – and then Tom Brady was like, well, I don't know anything about that. Like, I haven't actually seen – like, we have different schedules. Like,
he's like, I work out at 4 a.m. He doesn't. I don't know.
He's not at the house. I don't know where he – like, hey, listen, I'm not sure.
He just sleeps there. I don't know. My
kids are in another house. Like, it just...
I have 3 houses. There's probably someone living in the third one. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. But, like, so it just... When it was time for Antonio Brown to go, then obviously there's nothing you can do about that. And Robert Kraft is the one who sat down and said, bye-bye. Antonio Brown actually publicly apologized in Boston and was like, hey, I really do want to stay. And Bill Belichick actually said, you'll need to talk to Robert about that. So... That was from on high, and even Bill Belichick is not completely in charge of this thing, and there are times when even he acknowledges, hey, the boss said.
Right.
And the boss said you got to go.
When the boss says, hey, you're going to talk to him about that, that's never a good sign.
Yeah. When Bill Belichick acts like he's in complete control of the New England Patriots, that's when you know you're not coming back.
No.
Hey, Bill, thanks for this FaceTime. Well, you did jump me in a parking lot, but go ahead. Hey, I really want to come back to the team. Listen, I know you think that but listen. I signed my check just like he signs yours, and you're going to talk to him about that. Not a good sign.
Nope.
Not a good sign.
Nope.
Yeah. But so the fact of the matter is Tom Brady left, and Robert Kraft went out of his way to say it was Bill Belichick's fault.
Right.
And honestly, the offense sucked this year. It did. It sucked.
Still went 10 wins.
10 wins. But
still not the best in the league.
Tom Brady told Al Michaels, week 8, they were doing Sunday Night Football, and he told him, I'm the saddest 8-0 quarterback in the NFL.
Oh.
That's not a good quote.
That's not a good quote.
That's not a good quote at all.
Hey.
You don't want to be 8. First of all, any team that's 8-0 is thrilled because 2 more wins over the next 8 games, and we're going to the playoffs.
Right.
Like, all I got to do is go 2-6, and I'm in the playoffs.
Easy.
I think I got the flu. You know what I mean? Like I'll play these 2 games, and then I'm going to take a 6-week. I'll fly back in for the Super Bowl. Like forget it. But yeah, he was unhappy because they sucked. They weren't performing. They looked bad. He looked bad, but they weren't blocking anyone. There wasn't anybody special at receiver. Like, it was a bit of a mess.
Bit of a mess.
It was a bit of a mess. And so, with all that being said, what basically wound up happening there is, Tom Brady decides, if I'm out there killing myself, and sources close to Tom Brady said when the Patriots cut Antonio Brown, it was when Tom Brady's attitude changed about his stay with the team. If he's 40 years old, what is he still doing here at this point?
The Buccaneers pick up Antonio Brown coming up.
Listen,
on it.
the Buccaneers already have Mike Evans, and they've got another receiver. And both of those cats have had 1,000-yard seasons every year. So,
and that's with the blind man.
Right. That's with the guy who got LASIK this offseason. can't even wrap my brain around that. Can't even wrap my brain around the idea that it was year 5.
So long.
At the end of his 5th year, he was like, I think I'm going to get that LASIK. I think it's time.
They're like, now you decide to get the LASIK? It's only been how long?
Right. So there's guys already in Tampa who can catch.
Right.
And so Tom Brady, I think, is hoping, if they spend a little bit of money on defense. And by the way, people like Ndamukong Suh have now said that he was with the Bucs last year and he was good. And then like at the end of the season, he's like, I'm gonna go somewhere better. And then Tom Brady comes to the Bucs and he's like, what I meant by better was like here.
We are now better, and now I'm here.
I'm ready to re-sign now with Tampa Bay. So they've already become like the premier free agent destination just by getting the 40-year-old quarterback.
It's not any 40-year-old quarterback.
Right.
It's Tom Brady, greatest quarterback alive.
It's not retired Thaddeus. It's Tom Brady looking to get his seventh Super Bowl ring. All right, so what we're going to do here is, before we jump out to a break, Nico, go ahead and tell everybody about The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More.
The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More, despite everything that's going on, is still open.
Staying strong.
They have canceled all the events they had planned so far, so a little bit sad about that. But they're still there. They're taking online orders. If you come in, you're just like, I'm worried about it. Just give them a call. They'll get your stuff ready. You can just come in, pick it up, and then leave. You don't have to worry about it.
Boom.
For what they call the private shopping experience.
Ooh.
They said they are taking very, very extra measures to go and make sure everything's clean, everything's wiped down, everything's sanitized.
Listen, that's what have we said the entire time we've done an ad for The Adventure Begins. Just one of our favorite sponsors. They are clean, well lit, and family friendly.
Exactly.
They're not going to deviate from that now at this time.
Right. Now it's even more clean.
That's right. They're going to go out of their way. And these guys care about this stuff. They don't want to get kids home. They don't want to get families sick. They don't want any of that. They want to take care of people.
They do still have their summer camp program going on. They'll have more details about that.
Summer's still several months away. I think everyone's hoping. I know
by the time
certain people are hoping for Easter. I don't think that's likely.
Probably not.
I think what's probably more likely is late April. Everything's going to start getting back to normal. That's kind of what everyone's saying. And Adventure Begins is still is going to be here still. So everybody needs to support local, support small business, support The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More on 1488. We're going to jump out to a break, and when we come back, we got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way. Hey everybody, I'd like to introduce Tiger Rock Martial Arts. With 4 great locations that are open to all members, Tiger Rock offers world-class training with top-level instructors teaching self-defense and jiu-jitsu among other courses. Designed to help improve physical fitness and raise confidence, Tiger Rock's martial arts is able to start working with anyone 4 years old and up to show them the life skills and focus it takes to succeed in the modern world. Anyone interested in a fun, energetic way to make a positive life change should absolutely reach out to Tiger Rock Martial Arts and get started changing their life for the better. TigerRockMartialArts.com. The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More is open on 1488 at 525 Woodland Square Boulevard. With comics, games, and everything nerd-related, The Adventure Begins is the one-stop nerd shop. On Saturdays, they alternate between having Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, and coming up, they also have cosplay crafting and trivia nights and BYOB nights. They're currently offering a 10% discount for limited time, which will be valid for as long as you grab your books every month.
This is Rudy Tomjanovich, and welcome to Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Sports, happening right here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister stations, streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com and on the Sports Talk Network, I think is the name of it. One day I'm actually going to look it up.
One day. One day we'll know where we are.
Listen, we're everywhere. So, it's a waste of time for me to try and figure out where we are. It's easier for me to figure out where we're not. You know where we're not? Mars. That's it. The end. Bye.
Nah, not necessarily. If we're talking like radio waves don't stop.
Let me tell you something.
They're in space. Our voices are in space.
I already knew that. I'm a pretty loud guy. Let me tell you this. If the Mars rover is streaming IR Lone Star right now, then Dick Shizzler IV has a better reach than I ever thought possible. But it should be. It's good radio. I'm good radio. So, the rover should clearly be streaming us. But in the event that it's
happy birthday to itself?
That's the most depressing thing ever. Because it's alone on an entire planet. It's heartbreakingly alone in all of space. There's nowhere else where there's another living organism but here, allegedly. Obviously the Greys, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. The lizard people. But I'm not even going to get it. I'm just saying, clearly it's alone on Mars, except for all the other aliens who all live on Mars and are hidden from our technology by just walking right behind the rover and laughing at us. It's not even just putting into the universe. That's what I would do. Has Todd been chasing the rover for 4 days? It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Just tell him to quit screwing with it. You're going to break their toy. You're going to break it. Just come. Yeah, he's right behind the camera. That's pretty good. They get a shadow in that one. Oh, that's going to
really mess
months. For months, they're going to be looking at that, trying to figure out. Did he do he fanned? Oh, yeah. He put his fin up. They're not even going to know what it is now. Is it a mountain? Do we need to go that way? Go to the mountain. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But so there's Mars where we're not broadcast. I'm assuming. And then nowhere else. We're everywhere else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, duh.
It's like a void of Mars.
Yeah.
Nothing gets there.
Yeah, well, it's a very bad neighborhood. People don't like to go there. Let's go to Mars.
That's where the biker mice are.
Let's just order in today. We don't have to go to Mars, babe. Let's just order in. We won't.
I'm not trying to mess with the biker mice from Mars.
Yeah, a friend of mine knows a guy who had a really rough time there, and I don't want to. They kind of accosted him. Okay, it felt racial, and so you just stay away from Mars. But so I'm gonna do something here. I guess I'm gonna wind up being the one guy on sports radio here in the Houston area who's gonna point out some pro Bill O'Brien stuff.
What heresy?
Listen, he's a jerk. People don't like talking to him. He's rude to the media. He runs his team as though he's the only voice that's relevant. He makes poor timing decisions. He wastes timeouts. I do think he made bad decisions in the playoffs, but I'm not going to completely say that we lost the Kansas City game because of him. I am going to point out that J.J. Watt and the vaunted Texas defense didn't get a stop for 2.5 quarters. Force a punt. Just try it. Just see what it looks like. You never know. Could be fun.
Could be a good idea.
When we forced punts early in the game, it worked out really well for us, and then we kind of stopped that. They started converting 3rd and 11s and 3rd and 15s, and all of a sudden you're just like, okay, well, the game's over. Cool. Everybody go home. Yes, his play calling was part of it, and yes, the team basically gave up. But they went to halftime even, and then they came out of halftime and they just didn't care anymore. So I'm not going to blame him for all of that. I'm going to point out right now that we traded Jadeveon Clowney to the Seattle Seahawks last offseason. We got 2 players and a 3rd-round pick. Now, it couldn't have been more. It should have been more, but it couldn't have been more because we traded him after the cutoff date for negotiating an extension. So Seattle had an inherent risk in trading for Clowney because it was basically a 1-year rental. Then they had to re-sign him out of free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Clowney is now a free agent, and he's giving 0 discounts. And Seattle has made him a very strong offer, and it's not even close to the number he wants, and so he hasn't moved at all.
Nice.
His counteroffer is, I told you what I want. So I think we came out ahead in that deal. It almost doesn't matter who we took with the 3rd-round pick, and I'm not sure off the top of my head. As long as they're on the roster this year, we got 3 players for Seattle 0. So QB scored home 3-0.
Pretty good.
Feels good. Jadeveon Clowney, listen, not going to say a negative thing about him as a human being or as a player. As a player, he's dominant. He is dangerous. He is a force you have to account for when you're game planning offensively. When you're walking up to the line of scrimmage, your 5 offensive linemen point out key people. Clowney is one of those people on every single play. 99, 99, 99, 99. They're looking for him. However, within the scope of a team budget, there are limits on what you can spend on people. You have to be in control of these things. And Clowney asking for an insane amount of money means that there's less money to go to other places, obviously. That's the salary cap math. It's part of the reason the Texans had 0 interest in negotiating with DeAndre Hopkins again. We kind of got into that a little bit last week, but we can kind of touch on it again now because we're talking about Bill O'Brien and trades and us winning. Here's the truth. DeAndre Hopkins, for the 3rd offseason in his 6-year career, was asking for more money and threatening to hold out. He'd done it twice before during his rookie deal. And the Texans were in no hurry to. We didn't have to. We didn't need to. He was under our control for a long time. Now, 2 years after signing a brand new contract that he willingly signed himself, now we flip to this side of it, and he's already going, hey, new deal. I need a new deal. I need more money. I need a new deal. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to keep doing that. Like, every 2 years, every 3 years, we're not going to keep signing a brand new deal for you. So if that's going to be the way it is, might be time to move on.
Maybe.
And if every couple of years DeAndre Hopkins and his people were going to walk in and go, hey, I know we just signed a 5-year deal, but it's been 2 years. It's time for a new deal. No, it's not. At some point, you're holding the franchise hostage. At some point, you're being unreasonable. And at some point, it's not worth spending the money on you. Let's just move the money around and go get somebody else. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
And so that's the real caveat to all that is there's no way around salary cap math. And so Jadeveon Clowney is now potentially going to leave Seattle and wind up somewhere else, although no other team has even expressed an interest in matching the Clowney number.
Right.
So
he might be one of those guys that's getting a little too big for his britches and is asking for too much and then ends up nowhere because no one can pay him what he wants.
He'll wind up on the field. Now, whether that winds up being like a 1-year, $15 million deal, which, listen, it's great money. It's good work if you can find it.
Mm-hmm.
But it might not be the 3-year, $60 million with $40 million in guarantees that he's trying to get.
Right.
And that's going to be the problem, is Clowney doesn't have the best history with injuries. So there is a
he's a golden child.
Right.
He doesn't get injured. He's the best ever.
And even if he was a golden child, I mean, at this point he's 28, I think. 28, 29, and you start to go, well, this might be the time when you start breaking down anyway. I don't want to give you $60 million with $40 guaranteed, and I'm making those numbers up, but that's right in the ballpark of what he probably is asking for, what he should be asking for. Let's be really, really, really clear. He should be asking for that. However, if I'm the team, the injury history, the age, the production, the as good as Clowney has been, even last year he finished the year hurt and had an abdominal hernia, what they call a sports hernia. So even last year when we got rid of people and made moves, Clowney still finished the year hurt. Would I rather have kept Clowney instead of maybe J.J. Watt? Yeah, probably. Well, Would I want now to be committing another $100 million to Clowney?
Nah.
I don't know. And I don't know how excited I would be about that contract. I don't know how excited I would be about that process. I don't know how excited I would be about the prospect of that much financial flexibility being tied up in one guy who probably plays 14 games a year, 13 games a year. So all that being said, if we're keeping score at home, all hype and radio talk aside, Bill O'Brien 1, Seattle 0. That's how I'm going to score that a year removed. Before we get any much,
we certainly missed him though.
Listen, we would love to have kept him, but if we're gonna start having the conversation where we're not keeping everybody,
right?
Then you'd like to see the teams that get your guys to struggle with keeping them. That at least makes it look like you're not the only incompetent team on the. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're so incompetent, you couldn't keep Clowney. It's like, well, Seattle has a Super Bowl and they couldn't keep him either. So
right.
Before we go too much further, go ahead and tell everybody about our friends Donald Williams.
Donald Williams with Sean Myers Insurance wants you to know that you can shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price, specializing in home insurance as well as bundling it with auto to maximize discounts. They want you to know they're part of the family. They're going to go with you line by line, make sure you're getting the maximum savings. If you need something, if you don't need something, they're going to build your plan so it's the best fits you. Give them a call at 936-760-5963. That is 936-760-5963. That's Donald Williams with Sean Myers Insurance. Local Conroe boy, give him a call. They're probably still taking calls even in this time.
Oh, for sure he is, because he wants to try and help people save money. He and I put together a little ad packet where he pointed out, look, these are hard times. Let's all try and save some money. He wants to help you save money, so reach out to him. Also, reach out to the Mobile Mechanic Road Service and Repair, getting you back on the road with a smile. 281-670-5822. 281-670-5822. You got any problems or mechanical issues, he will come to you and help you work on that and get that fixed. Computer diagnostics, engine light, fix-a-flat, battery change, lockouts, oil changes, brakes, towing, service repairs, all of that and more. The Mobile Mechanic Road Service and Repair. 281-670-5822. All right, we're going to jump out to a break. When we come back, we got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way. The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More is open on 1488 at 525 Woodland Square Boulevard. With comics, games, and everything nerd-related, The Adventure Begins is the one-stop nerd shop. On Saturdays, they alternate between having Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, and coming up, they also have cosplay crafting and trivia nights and BYOB nights. They're currently offering a 10% discount for limited time, which will be valid for as long as you grab your books every month. Hey everybody, I'd like to introduce Tiger Rock Martial Arts. With 4 great locations that are open to all members, Tiger Rock offers world-class training with top-level instructors teaching self-defense and jiu-jitsu among other courses. Designed to help improve physical fitness and raise confidence, Tiger Rock's Martial Arts is able to start working with anyone 4 years old and up to show them the life skills and focus it takes to succeed in the modern world. Anyone interested in a fun, energetic way to make a positive life change should absolutely reach out to Tiger Rock Martial Arts and get started changing their life for the better. TigerRockMartialArts.com. From chicken fried steak with jalapeno cream gravy to spicy shrimp tacos or a double bone-in pork chop, there are many items listed on the menu of the Woodlands area's newest restaurant and lounge. With 2 full bars, 40 beers on tap, 23 wines by the glass, and a large, family-friendly patio, Citizens Grill is designed to create a fun atmosphere. Interested in hungry parties can find them on FM 1488 at Old Conroe Road across from the Escape Theater and Del Webb, open weekdays 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and weekends 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And interested parties should absolutely check out the Nerd Thug Radio events pages for specials. Hi, Conroe. Corey DLG of Nerd Thug Radio. For people interested in saving money on car and home insurance, they should contact Sean Myers Insurance Services. If you look on Google, you'll see plenty of 5-star reviews for these guys. They're great. They're an independent agent able to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price for that customer. They do specialize in home insurance as well as bundling with auto to maximize discounts. They would want you to know that they consider their customers family and that their policy is caring and their goal is to bring value by going through your coverage line by line to make sure you actually understand what you have. Interested parties should call 936-760-5963 if they're interested in saving money on car insurance today.
Hi, this is Kevin Smith, former Dallas Cowboy, Texas A&M Aggie as well, and I want to say what's up to Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Sports right here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister stations, and we're streaming worldwide at irlonestar.com. Hanging out here as always on this Thursday afternoon, trying to keep everybody entertained and informed on this, with all the stuff going on. Just kick back and listen to us, and we'll try to keep the panic at a minimum and the enjoyment at a medium.
Medium.
Listen, we like to be honest here. We here at Nerd Thug Radio, we know there are funnier people. We know there are better people. We know there are more qualified people. We know there are more talented people, and we know there are more technical people. What we are really good at is other stuff. But we're doing this, and that's what matters today. We're here doing this. Before we get into anything, let me introduce you guys to Tiger Rock Martial Arts. With 4 great locations that are open to all members, Tiger Rock offers world-class training with top-level instructors teaching self-defense and jiu-jitsu, among other courses. Helping to improve your physical fitness and raise your confidence, Tiger Rock Martial Arts is able to start working with anyone 4 years old and up and show them the life skills and focus it takes to succeed in the modern world. So anyone seeking a fun, energetic way to make a positive life change needs to reach out to Tiger Rock Martial Arts and get started changing their life for the better today. Obviously with everything going on, there's not a lot they're able to do right now. They're doing some online videos and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Listen, as soon as this is over, small businesses want to come back in a big way. They want to pounce Kia back into the, back to it. And they can't do that without our support and without our help. So stay tuned in, stay engaged. Make just a slight listen. I know this is us asking you to do something for yourself and for us and for small business, but just take the extra step. Just be a little more tuned in and remember and recognize that these people provide a service to the community. They hire locally. They spend money locally. Small businesses, I saw a chart one time where it talks about the flow of $1, and if you spend $1 in Walmart, it just leaves. But if you spend $1 at a local business, it circulates locally. It pays a rent locally. It pays a utility bill locally. It just keeps spiraling locally. The $1 becomes $10.
Yeah, the money multiplier effect, as they call it.
That is. Listen to you. Look at you learn something in college. Oh,
yeah.
You pretty idiot. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's exactly what it's called. It's the money multiplier. So you support the small business, and that money, it's almost like planting a money tree. They talk about the money tree doesn't grow. Yes, it does. It does grow, but it grows by supporting small businesses.
Yeah.
The more money you spend locally, the stronger your community becomes.
Exactly.
And so I know that sounds weird, and I know that sounds maybe a little backwards to some folk who don't recognize that, if I spend money, I spend money. Yes, you do, but if you spend it locally, it stays local. That's the whole point of a small business. And so support, Brad Hoffman and his efforts with the Tiger Rock Martial Arts. They got 4 locations. This is a guy who's invested heavily in what he loves and what he does and in the community. So stay with him. Don't leave him now at this time. All right, so all that being said, blasey. Let's get back to the sportsy. We'll do a little bit of bad news, and then we'll see what kind of time we got here. Karl Anthony Towns of the NBA, Big Cat, as they call him, K-A-T. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's just the candy bar, the big Kit Kats. They call them Big
You're
Cats.
right. Okay, hard transition. He revealed that his mother is medically induced coma because of the coronavirus.
Oh. That was way sadder than the chocolate bar thing.
Yeah, it really was. You're so insensitive.
Yeah, I find out later, and I'm like, oh, now I feel bad.
It's one of those things that sticks with you. A long time ago, I had left a room with some friends. They were all still in the room. I left, was doing something, and came back about 20 minutes later, and everybody was the mood was way down. Way down. And I remember saying, I remember going, whoa, hey, who died? And somebody said, are you
joking?
And they were like, that's really, and I was like, what happened? Turns out someone we went to high school with they were coming home from college, and they had literally news had just broke that they had passed away. They had died driving home. Terrible timing of the comment, but that was the mood of the room, so it wasn't like I was wrong. It just was it
was a joke, and then it was serious.
Right. It was an accurate joke, which is the worst kind, apparently, it turns out.
Timing, bro. Timing.
Timing is, listen, what's the secret of timing? But so it's important to recognize that the coronavirus it's everywhere. It is a big deal. I know we're talking about just a lot of different. Everyone's hearing different things, and I understand that. But the thing that we need to be talking about is nobody's grandparents wants to die to make the economy good again.
Right. No.
I texted my mom and I was like, "Hey, Granny, you ready to give one for the team?" And she was like, "What?" And I sent her the video and she was like, "Well, I'm not that old." And I was like, "You're a grandmother. Like, I don't know if you know this or not, but you are old and a grandmother now. You are literally the at-risk group that they've been talking about for the last 2 months. Did you think it was someone else?" And she was like, "I'm not that old." She is that old. Just so we're clear, she can't call in, she can't respond. She is that old. She is literally a grandmother, and she is almost 60. She's exactly in the age group where they're like, "Look out,
watch out."
So yeah, look out. But it is important to recognize that this is effect. There's a news story about an 18-year-old who just passed away. There's a news story about 40-year-olds on ventilators. Like right now, it is what it is. Right now, there are boards of medical teams consulting their lawyers about culpable liability as they're making determinations about who gets ventilators and who doesn't.
Death panels. But
what they're specifically asking is, if I take a ventilator from someone, can I be charged with murder? And the reason they're asking that is when it gets to that point, the doctors want to have clear guidelines legally about what they're allowed to do with treatment. And if you don't think that means you, if you don't think that means people you know, if you think that doesn't apply to you and your loved ones, you are an idiot.
You are wrong.
No. Let me be very clear. You're an idiot. This is directly going to impact you if people want to behave in a way where it's not going to. If you're going to pretend like there's not a problem, you're going to have a problem. That's how this thing works. That's how life works. You don't get to ignore cancer and then be surprised when you die from cancer. You don't get to ignore something that the World Health Organization is calling a pandemic and then go, "Yeah, but it's a fake.
It's the flu too.
It's just the flu, guys." Okay, all right. It's just the flu then. Okay. That's why everything's closed, because it's the flu. That's why the president is giving daily press conferences, because it's the flu. That's why, literally, for the first time in the history of Texas, county judges are issuing stay-at-home orders because it's the flu. Oh, no. They're doing that because they're scared. They're doing that because the media is scaring them. Really?
Or people are dying.
Or are they doing it because of that, or are they doing that because they don't want to be responsible for literally thousands of people dying at once? You tell me, which one seems more likely? So, yes, it's a fun show, but we got to be honest about things. And when it's affecting this, sports is a good way to show the world. Karl-Anthony Towns is a 24-year-old millionaire.
Right.
24-year-old millionaire whose mother is in a coma because of coronavirus. So, let's be honest about what we're talking about here. Let's not mince words. This is a big deal. It's kind of a weird thing, but we got to be real about this. If you think you're going to get away with something, you're not. You're not going to dodge this. Oh, I'm 20 and I'm invincible. All those teenagers who went to Miami,
dumb. All of them are dumb.
Listen, 15 years from now when they're playing that video, they're going to find those kids again, and there's going to be a documentary about, like, this moment, right? Like, the pandemic or something, whatever it's going to be called. It's going to be called the hoax or something. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have a documentary, like, with an ironic title. They're going to go find those kids. And those kids are going to be like,
how wrong I was.
Right. Oh, I didn't mean it. Well, there was a party in Kentucky where they literally threw a coronavirus party where they all got together to make fun of the fact that people had the coronavirus. Well, one of the kids at the party now has coronavirus.
Which means all of them have the coronavirus.
Which means all of them were exposed. Also, Rand Paul, who's a doctor, got tested in the morning, didn't think he had it, so he walked around the Senate gym and walked among all the senators, shook hands and said, hey. Then in the afternoon, it was revealed he does.
Good job.
So, like, 4 other Republican senators are self-quarantining because they saw him in the halls.
Oops.
He's a doctor.
Oops.
People have got to be, like, you got to be smarter. You just got to be smarter. It's not that complicated. Before we get into everything here, before I get into how much time we got?
We got about, what is this, 5 minutes?
Okay. All right. So I do want to give a quick shout out to the Carolina Panthers. They signed XFL quarterback PJ Walker of the Houston Roughnecks.
Yeah.
So the XFL MVP of the inaugural season of the XFL, PJ Walker, is now a Carolina Panther. He's the backup to Teddy Bridgewater.
Hooray.
So the Carolina Panthers also released Cam Newton.
All right, sad.
And now with Cam Newton, it's kind of a wait and see. He had another surgery in the this year. Also, he had the foot injury this year that I think even that required surgery. Like,
yeah, Liz Frank.
yeah, he's had several surgeries, several major reconstructive surgeries in the past few years. Let me tell you, from a Liz Frank. Now, I'm not the healthiest of healthy.
Not even gonna say it.
There are definitely times where I wake up aware that I had a Liz Frank foot injury. There's no getting around that. You're gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna feel it. Now, I promise you, a football player's feet already feel way worse than mine. I'm a fat guy on little feet, so like my feet will hurt. His feet hurt because people stomp on them, like a lot and on purpose. Plus, he can run like a horse, so there's a lot of force that goes through his feet. I bet his feet ache already. But they're not feeling any better now. I can promise you that. What he wakes up with now is now the baseline. It's always only going to be worse than. This is always now only going to be the best. What was the name of the Jack Nicholson movie? The As Good as It Gets.
This is as good as it gets.
This is as good as it gets now for Cam Newton and his feet. This is as good as it's ever going to be. This is it. And so I think I think teams know that. And so. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of signings. I haven't heard any teams be like, you know who we need? Get us Cam Newton. Which is unfortunate. I don't think it's time for his career to be over. I think he's got a couple more years in him. If someone just could play him a little differently.
Yeah, I think this is really just a leadership thing again.
Yeah, he does, however, have some slight accuracy issues. His ball has always been a little high. He throws a little high. They've always had to go and get taller receivers in Carolina because of that. Because even with the 6'4" receivers and the 6'2" receivers, a lot of them are doing full arm extension a lot of times, which receivers don't like to do because they feel very exposed in the rib area when you do that. So he's not. There are going to be teams who already say he may not be a starter, but you can't knock the fact that when Cam Newton's at his top, when he's an MVP caliber player, they go to Super Bowls.
Right? Yeah, they're amazing.
So it's kind of hard to say that. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to tell you guys about Citizens Grill. Citizens Grill is open this Saturday and Sunday with our entire menu of great food available for curbside pickup and delivery within 3 miles, including our neighbors in Del Webb, the Enclave Apartments, and everyone on Old Conroe Road. Call us at 936-320-0022 or order online at ordering.app/Citizens Grill. Or just pull up and give us your order. Lunch ordering 11 a.m. to 2, dinner ordering from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. They've got some pictures up on their Facebook of just everything. Honestly, the picture they've got for the chicken fried steak, that's what it looks like when it's served to you. This is not like they didn't go get model chicken fried steak. They didn't bring in the model from Italy for the chicken fried steak picture. Okay, that's what it looks like. That's the at-home version. That bad boy is a beast, and it's delicious.
It's great.
And then also the picture they've got of their brownie. We've had several of the desserts. We tried a bunch of stuff. We did a sampling.
The bread pudding. It's amazing.
It's something they're known for. It's the New Orleans style pecan bread pudding. Citizens Grill is delicious. They're just wonderful. You got to make sure you're getting out there. You got to make sure you're supporting small business. Help them out. Check them out. Don't shy away from helping the community and also enjoying good food.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a try. All that being said, we're going to jump out to a break. When we come back, we got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way. From chicken fried steak with jalapeno cream gravy to spicy shrimp tacos or a double bone-in pork chop, there are many items listed on the menu of the Woodlands area's newest restaurant and lounge. With 2 full bars, 40 beers on tap, 23 wines by the glass, and a large, family-friendly patio, Citizens Grill is designed to create a fun atmosphere. Interested in hungry parties can find them on FM 1488 at Old Conroe Road across from the Escape Theater and Del Webb, open weekdays 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and weekends 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And interested parties should absolutely check out the Nerd Thug Radio events pages for specials. Hi, Conroe. Corey DLG of Nerd Thug Radio. For people interested in saving money on car and home insurance, they should contact Sean Myers Insurance Services. If you look on Google, you'll see plenty of 5-star reviews for these guys. They're great. They're an independent agent able to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price for that customer. They do specialize in home insurance as well as bundling with auto to maximize discounts. They would want you to know that they consider their customers family and that their policy is caring, and their goal is to bring value by going through your coverage line by line to make sure you actually understand what you have. The interested parties should call 936-760-5963 if they're interested in saving money on car insurance today.
Hey, Haywood Jeffries, former Houston Oilers wide receiver on Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Sports right here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister stations. I almost did it. Almost did it. Almost. Right up here in the wrap-up segment of Nerd Thug Sports, just a little bit of news here, just to further emphasize how smart we are and how much we know.
Because we know everything.
We do know everything. There's just no getting around that. To further emphasize that, another young NFL athlete retired.
Oh. Who would that be?
Travis Fredericks, the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
29 years old.
Oh, good for him.
6 years into the league and is now going home.
Good job.
Packing his stuff up, going home. Now, last year he did struggle with an autoimmune condition that affected his body and hurt his ability to move around and do stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he was really struggling with that. But he turns around, and on the flip side of that, he's decided that his health is more important than football.
Which you should always.
Always. And after 6 years, he's qualified he's fully vested in everything.
Right. He's got everything he needs.
That's the thing. So here's what happens. And the new CBA may be different. So this was the old CBA. The old CBA, after 6 years, you were 100% an NFL. You were a fully vested NFL prospect. Completely. So pension, health insurance, monthly payments, security, all that stuff, you were 100% all the way in after 6 years. Because I think the average career is 4.5. So it's a little messed up, but that's how they did it. So, when these guys are getting in at 6 years and then retiring, what they're doing is securing those future payments, making sure they have the lifetime of health insurance, all of those different things, and now they can move on. Plus, they're just sitting on whatever cash they've accrued. And Fredrickson was a first-round pick. So it's not a guy hurting for money. He played 6 years, so I think he signed an extension 2 years ago.
Yeah. So he's doing well for himself.
Financially, he's probably sitting on somewhere between $20 and $40 million.
He's not even 30 years old.
Right.
So
it's a really good 10-year run.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys on Wall Street used to do that, where they would invest or they would do their whatever they're doing for a 5-year window, and then get out. Or then they would keep throwing their money back in because they're addicted to money at that point. But after that 5-year window, they've got several $1 million in front of them, and they haven't really done anything. But yeah, so another young NFL player who's going, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home.
Not this.
Going to go home.
Not this.
The autoimmune disorder kind of makes it a little bit different, but each one of those people we've talked about before always had a serious injury. So Gronk, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck had $1 million.
Yeah. The San Francisco 49ers linebacker, I'm blanking on his name. But they all were coming back from a big injury or just had sustained significant injuries throughout the last few years, and we're just
I'm done.
You know what? I'm 30 and I feel like I'm 50. I don't want to do this anymore. Gronk, they say, has trouble fully extending his arm.
Yeah.
By the way, this weekend, Gronk will be part of the first ever 2-day WrestleMania.
Ooh.
In an empty Tampa Bay stadium.
That's so weird.
It's a lot of people are dealing with a lot of weird stuff right now. And the WWE has not pulled back from their schedule at all, which is a little aggressive. They might be the only people traveling right now, though, so I guess it's okay.
We're the only ones on the road. It doesn't matter.
Them and the stewardess is the only two people on the airplane now, I guess. I don't know. Flight attendant? Stewardess? I don't know what they're called now. But yeah, it's definitely odd. But WrestleMania is going to be 2 days. It's going to be in Tampa Bay, in the stadium. Or they might have moved it now. I think they might have moved it because it's going to be empty. There's no point in having it in a football stadium.
Football stadium, completely empty. Wild.
I don't even know what I would like.
Like, that's definitely a footnote in the coronavirus, like, documentary that's already being made.
Man, it's going to be weird. Right? It's just going to be people stealing toilet paper and then people in empty stadiums.
Yeah, and it's like WrestleMania, whatever number this is,
right,
took place in an empty stadium because there's...
Yeah.
Like, at this point, it would be more expensive to rent somewhere else out.
Well, I think they get... I don't know.
Do they get their money back?
I don't know.
If they just don't cancel... Because that would be so crazy. Because it would be like the last people... It would look like the last people on the planet still trying to entertain themselves.
Right. Just playing in an empty football stadium. I don't know. I have no idea. I have none. So... Please don't do it. Okay. All right. So I don't know who controls those things. You know, it's like South by Southwest gave 0 deposits back or 0 refunds,
which is
to ticket holders. That was an expensive ticket. I'm not sure that WrestleMania is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the NBA didn't give the season. I don't think they gave season pass holders refunds on anything and ticket holders. I don't. Also, the NBA is worried about the salary cap next year because they'd already lost a couple $100 million from the China stuff at the beginning of the season. China hadn't been spending money on the NBA, so they lost revenue. Now you come over here and you lose.
China screwed us again.
China screwing us, but then you come over here and you lose $20 million plus in 20 plus games. So you're talking about $10 to $20 million in revenue for each team, plus unfulfilled TV contract. Like, seriously, there's a lot of down money that NBA lost at this point. Which is going to affect next year's salary cap. And teams are structured in a way for this. If the salary cap doesn't go up, they can't fit their rosters year to year.
Oh gosh!
So you're going to see some weird stuff next year. I don't know what's going to happen. There's talk that maybe they'll like waive the salary cap for 1 year, or they'll give teams like permission to cross it. I don't know. But
I've decided there's no salary cap this year. I build the stupidest team we can, maximum money.
I broke my team, so no cap. Yeah, that sounds fair. I don't know what it's going to look like because like the cap needs to go up for all of their numbers to fit, and
it probably
already
won't.
The NBA analysts are like there's not enough money there for it to go up because it's a percentage of last year's revenue. Right. Also, they hold 10% of the NBA players' salaries. To make sure they hold it to make sure that they actually reach the threshold that they're projected to reach.
Oh.
This time they're not going to hit it. So there's a bunch of money the players aren't going to get.
Ooh.
10% of their salaries.
That's a big number.
For some of those guys, it's a huge number. For some of those guys, you're talking about $3 or $4 million.
Oh Lord.
That they just
won't
get. So yeah, it's definitely this has definitely impacted sports in a million different ways, and its impact is gonna be felt for at least a future NBA season, at least one.
Yeah.
All right. So all that being said, thank you for listening, guys. Everybody have a great day on behalf of little brother Nico and myself. Same Nerd Thug time, same Nerd Thug channel.